Welcome, Transformer fans. Today we are doing a special five-part combiners episode in the Aerialbots. But before we look at the Aerialbots, we will do our shoutouts of the week. Starting with Back to the Media at 48 South Loudon Street, which is the home of Back to the Media, which is where you get all, and I do mean all, of your video game needs, going from the Atari all the way up to current systems. As I'm seeing the Aerialbots off on the side, and just bring Scattershot up to the forefront. But before we get to the rest of these Aerialbots, we are going to do the rest of our shout-outs of the week. The second one is Play It Again Games on Middle Road, right behind the seats on Valley Avenue here in Winchester, which is where you can find your little doodads that you can't find at Back to the Media, as well as all of your PC and video games needs met. So definitely check out Play It Again Games. But if you're looking for for toys and collectibles, such as Transformers here, you can check out Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles, where you can get all your Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, WWE, AEW stuff. Check them out. And I got the Aerialbots off of eBay, unfortunately. So, I mean, it is what it is. But you can definitely check them out. And definitely give them a holler. And you could go to 106 South Loudon Street here in Winchester, which is the home of it is the home of Thinker Toys, which is where you get all of your young people's skill building needs that they need. So you can definitely give them a shout. Sorry, y'all, Mountain Dew break. But definitely check out Thinker Toys to get all your toddlers ready for school. And while you're there, you could go and check out 80 Weems Lane here in Winchester for all your comic book needs, which is the home of 4-Color Fantasies. But if you're in Salisbury, North Carolina, you can go to you can always go to Comic Monsters in the Salisbury, North Carolina area. So definitely check them out. But if you're in Winchester or planning to visit Winchester and you want some good Jamaican food, you can check out Tropical Islands on 39 Piccadilly Street and get all your Jamaican food. It's C. Lloyd and his wonderful staff. You get some good food. So definitely check them out. If you have tree work you need done, you can see Mixed Tree Service and get all your tree stuff taken care of. So definitely check him out. And if you're looking for a good bank to go to, you can go to Bank of Clark or United Bank and see what they have to offer and definitely get the job done. But if you're looking for insurance, like auto insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, you could go to either State Farm or Farmers. But like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. But definitely check them out and get some good quotes and good policies. But if you have that car that you need gas in, you could go to Sheetz or Handy Mart and get your fill up. And they also have made-to-order food just as well as gas. So you can get your belly full at the same time you get your gas tank full. Man, let's go and get it done. And but Cobra Island is a proud sponsor of mental health awareness. So if you're looking for a counselor, you can see Robert C. Brown at Healing Grace Counseling Services and see what he has to offer. And of course, he is a good person to talk to. But if Rob is not your cup of tea, you could go to any one of the local Winchester counselors. There's plenty of them here. Or you can get a hold of National Counseling Group. But if you don't live in Winchester, you can check out whoever your closest therapist is. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy. There's nothing wrong with getting help. Go for it. But speaking of help, you could go to Northwestern Community Services if you're in the Winchester Front Royal area and get all your psychiatry needs. So definitely check them out. And if you need somebody to text, you can text 741-741 just to text somebody that you need to talk to. But if you just need to hear a human voice, you can dial 988. So definitely check them out. And if you're in the area and you need to get a hold of somebody for whatever reason it is, so you could check out go get whatever you need done with the emergency room if it's really serious. So definitely nothing wrong with getting the help you need. So we're going to start with the Aerialbot Silverbolt, actually, which is he does transform into a Concorde SST. So let's start with his articulation. His head can, pretty much rotate. It's on a ball joint. His arm also on a ball joint. Well, on a ratchet joint. He can lift so high. He can rotate all the way around. He can bend at the elbow. Of course, you can see his ray guns in both hands. And bring his arm up here so we can show how his leg is on a soft ratchet. And he can also kick forward on the ratchet joint, bend at the knee. He can also kick back, but the back does get in the way. So let's go ahead and get ready to transform him into the Concorde SST. As I got to move the rest of the Aerialbots to really get him going. So we're gonna remove the laser cannons out, and then his hands does rotate back. Ooh, but it's been a while since I transformed him, so it might take me a minute. Click his little toesies in. Ugh. Hmm. Yeah. He is kind of. Whoa. Hmm. Really trying to get this guy into his Concorde mode. Does kind of. That's kind of. I'm trying to get, because I know you got to tilt the head into the little cavity. See, as you get the head to tilt it to the little cavity. I thought this might be easy to transform, but I guess not. But, we're going to see what we could do to make this happen here. And then once you got his head in the cavity, you can just hinges down to where you got that like that. Mm. And then you can get his arms to go in to connect right on the little sides of the wings. So you got the little connector port right there that goes into the hole right there. Ooh. Mm. I'm still trying to figure out. I know you get to open these up, and so we can figure out how to do the lays in to really get him in his rest of him in his jet mode. Mm. Man, this guy can get whack-a-day-hoy on getting him in his mode. Ugh. Mm. Oh, well, we're getting him to the best we can. I know we can do it. We did it before. The other little guys are somewhat easier than the big guy is. But we're getting him. It's just taking us a little bit of time. What we might have to do is unhook the arms from the little hinges right away. And I do believe we have it. Haha, and we do have it. I do believe so, my fellow Transformer fans. Yes, we do have it. Mm. And there we go, getting his legs inward to the back position, which we are getting him very well. Sorry I'm not doing it as much on camera as I should. And there we have him in his Concorde SST mode. Finally. Now to get him in Superion mode. You want to set the headpiece back and get the wings up. Bring the hands back so you can form the legs. This way you have his upper legs connectors right there. And have them off to the sides like this. And I am looking to make sure we can get the head out properly. Haha. I'm working on it, y'all. And here we are. We have him in the beginning of Superion. So let's go ahead and look at who's the next one on the list. Alpha Bravo, which does turn into a helicopter. So let's take his little blast off, which he does have his head to twist. And typical arm movements, bending at the elbows. Typical leg kicks. I'm just going to briefly go through it. Bending at the knee. So let's get him in his helicopter mode and place the hand on, which is very simple transformation. You can undo the leg like this and just collapse it in. And do that with both legs. Cave it in. You do want to turn it around so you get the little connections right in there on both sides, and you can connect the legs. Bring his little feet in, and you can connect them, and bring these little pieces in, and you get the front of the helicopter. Then you bring this piece down, spread out the propeller blades. And then what you do with the arms is connect them right here on the sides of his body. And then you bring this piece out and back. And then you've got Alpha Bravo in his helicopter mode. To turn him into the arm of Superion, you want to undo his feet. You know, like you would be turning him back into robot mode somewhat. But not really. And then you got the tail back some, so you can flip the head, and then you just, so you bring the connector port out and have him like this. And then go ahead, just put the hand into there. And you got him in his arm mode. So let's connect him up to Superion. And there we go with the one arm. So let's now look at Air Raid, which is the F-15 Eagle. Which we have Air Raid right here. Take his pistol off, or his blaster off. And of course, you've got good head transformation, or good head rotation. His arm can move, you know, rotate very well on the ball joint, as does his leg. And to transform him is real simple. You open up the backs of the legs, like so. And just like with Alpha Bravo, you want to fold them in on each other, or fold them in on themselves, and then close it back up. And then you can connect them, but you also can bring his shoulders in. Oh, let me do the... And here we go. Got everything all, make sure everything's all screwed in, and you got him in his jet. So let's transform him into the other arm mode. So you want to bring his head back so you can pop out the side piece. Bring this back up. And you take the other hand piece, slide it in. Make sure it's facing the right way. And you've got all the pieces sticking out. And then you go ahead and connect him to Superion. And he's got Superion's other arm, so we're looking good on Superion. So let's go ahead and look at Fireflight and Skydive, which are both F4 and the F-16. And take this little gun off. So, of course, the articulation is the same. The arm movements, arm bands, leg bands, the head swivel. So, no need to go into full details. So, let's go ahead and transform him into his jet mode, which he does the same thing. Ugh. Ugh. I mean, these guys do get hard to maneuver. Especially the joints do get stiffer sometimes the longer you have them. Especially if you don't play with them as much. You know, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what I've noticed. Ugh, they do tend to get really, really stiff. Mm. And these two guys do get awful stiff after a while. Ugh. I usually keep all my Transformers up on a table on display. You know, so they do tend to get stiff. Some of them get loose the older they get. Some of them get tighter the older they get. But usually when they do get looser, it's usually because you could tell the toy is really, really played with. That's how you can tell when they get looser. And we'll just say this guy is Fireflight. And to get him into his leg mode, it's basically the same procedure. with the exception of you may want to extend the legs. So that way you definitely may want to extend the legs so you get some extra posability out of this guy. And we got this leg on. And then we've got our last Aerialbot, which is the same articulation, same all the way around movements. So let's go ahead and transform him all the way into his airplane and take a look at that. And presto, we got this ship, or this plane. So now let's get him into his leg mode. And then you take the other foot and connect it. And then you got him in his leg mode. And then you want to connect him to Superion also. And then presto, we have Superion. And I will give him Silverbolt's guns to put in. Whoa! When the hands are not flying off, So I guess just put the guns in when you're putting his hands on. That might be the best option. And take the other one. I guess let me get that hand off before that hand decides to fly away. And plug his hand back in. And I guess if we really want to arm, if we really want to arm if we really want to arm up Superion, we could put the guns of the other Aerialbots on him in the different ports that he has to really make this guy really look the part of being menacing. Like I said, we could really make Superion look all beefed up and ready to go after Menosaur and the Stunticons. But let me get into where his feet are totally perfect and aligned, where he doesn't look lopsided. That's the only thing I hate, is when he's got one foot bigger than the other, because it makes him hard to stand. There we go. So slide my phone out like this so we could look at Superion. Of course, he's got the head rotation. Gotta lay him down, but he just had the arm rotation as well as ratcheted legs with bendy knees. You need a bended knee on a super robot. Let me sit this down for a second. Now, as a combiner, I think this guy is, ready to go. I mean, these are knockoff Transformers, but they're still Autobots. They're still the Aerialbots, and this is still Superion. But and it works on that level, So this is a top tier figure, top tier must have in your collection, So go ahead and get it out there. I must say. So I'll see you in the next one. Until all are one. Peace.